What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, kicking it back to some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel content. Today, we are hopping in with yet another deck list profile for, finally here, BUJINs. Yes, I finally crafted the deck, play tested it, ran it, and this is my preferred build with a little bit of the Danger Engine sprinkled in here. BUJIN is a relatively old archetype, so I kind of needed to put something in here just to kind of help it flow in. So, yeah, I resorted to the danger method because of the way BUJINs really work, and we'll get into that when we get there. Quick note before we start, you can see down here at the extra deck I have 14 cards. And that is because I 1,000,000% recommend everyone playing this deck to put in Zeus. And I only have 14 cards because that last slot is saved for Zeus, because as you can see up at the top, I am just strapped on UR materials, and I have not been able to craft them. So Zeus is here. Make Zeus, put Zeus in. Zeus is in this deck. 1,000,000% play that. But without further ado, let's get started. Top left, bottom right. Let's get into it. First off, we have BUJIN Huriko. So this is our only pendulum monster of the deck, and we're only using him really for this pendulum effect. I mean, obviously you can use him for some Xyz plays if you really need to, but we're really only using him for the pendulum effect. You can banish this card from your pendulum zone, then target one BUJIN Xyz monster you control, special summon from your deck one BUJIN Xyz with a different name by using that target as Xyz material. This special summon is treated as an Xyz summon. Xyz materials attached to it also become Xyz materials on the summon monster. So this is great for... This is just pretty much great for just getting out something, using its effect, and then quickly swapping into a different Xyz monster if you have no real ways of getting out that second Xyz monster. You need something different. You need to maybe redraw your hand. We'll get into that a little bit more. It's a great, okay, I'm going to use this, then swap to this, and then use that. I like this card. We play it at 2. Next up, we play Danger Jackalope. I'm going to be honest, we really only use it for the effect of being able to, your opponent randomly chooses a card from your hand, discards it. If it wasn't a Danger Jackalope, you could special summon it. The second effect is kind of irrelevant. If Jackalope gets chosen, you can choose a Danger from your deck and special summon it to the field. That's fine, but we're really just using it for the draw power. Any Danger that's in here is really just there for the draw power. The discard a card from your hand, special summon it to the field to draw a card. I really want this to work well with some of the other cards that we have, and we'll get to that when we get there. I'll mention it as we get to those certain cards that we really want in the graveyard that would work well with the Danger discards. So we play 2 Jackalope, 2 Tsuchinoko. Now we're on to BUJIN Yamato. Once per turn during your end phase, you can add 1 BUJIN monster from your deck to your hand, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only control 1 BUJIN Yamato. You can play this at 1 or 2. I don't recommend playing this at 3, just because there are other cards in the deck that are a little more important. But this is nice, a nice combo piece with this card right here, BUJIN Candescence, which we'll get to when we get there. Not only that, it's another rank 4. It's another level 4 for your rank 4 Xyz plays. Nice card. Play it at 2. Next up, absolutely a must play at BUJIN Qilin at 3. If you control a Beast Warrior type BUJIN monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and destroy that target. You can only use this effect once per turn. This is your go-to card that you want immediately in the graveyard, and this is another thing that works very well alongside the Danger Engine. So you have this in your hand, you have a Danger card, it could possibly get chosen, send it to the graveyard, special summon your Danger so you can draw a card. This is one of the targets that we want into the graveyard, and there's a lots of ways of getting this card into the graveyard. Absolutely must play this card at 3. It's your main source of destruction. Now we're going to be playing like a bunch of one-offs. We have BUJIN Turtle. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a BUJIN monster you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect. Great card for keeping your BUJINs alive. BUJIN Crane, this is a card that you want in your hand. During damage calculation, in either player's turn, if a Beast Warrior type BUJIN monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. The attack of your monster becomes double its original attack during that damage calculation only. This is honest, our honest Neos basically for this deck. It doubles your attack power, and thankfully a lot of our Xyz monsters do have a relatively high attack stat that we can really benefit off of this. So yeah, BUJIN Crane out of 1. We have plenty of ways of searching and getting it into our hand, and if need be. So don't need to see this more than 1. one is perfectly fine, but you can argue playing two. Next up, Bujin Mikazuchi. When a Beast Warrior type Bujin monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, during the end phase, if a Bujin monster was sent from your hand to your graveyard this turn while you control this face-up card, you can add one Bujin spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. This is nice for searching out Bujin Consent, this card, and as well as Bujin Regalia. They're the only two spells and traps that we play in the deck, so those would be your great targets. Other than that, it's just another rank 4 that we could play that gives us access to just a little bit of different search engines for the deck. Again, it rocks in the end phase, so it's kind of situational, but it's still a nice card. We played it 1. Next up, we play Bujingi Centipede. If you control a Beast Warrior type Bujin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Nice card to have, and you might actually put an argument to play this card at 2 or 3. I think 1 is fine because we have plenty of ways of getting back our banished monsters and getting this thing to the graveyard in the first place. I think 1 is perfectly fine, but you could put in the argument to play your 2 or 3. Next up, Bujin Arasuda. If a Bujin monster in your graveyard or face up on your side of the field is banished, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in face up defense position. Really nice. Once per turn, during the end phase, if a Bujin card was added from your deck to your hand, except by drawing it while you controlled this face-up card, you can draw 1 card, then discard 1 card. You can only control 1 Bujin Arasuda. Now, this card said it as well, controlled. If these cards are sent away, that's perfectly fine. As long as the conditions were met while this card was on the field, you will still get this activation phase. Unlike this card right here, where it needs to be face up on the field, these cards, it says with the specific wording says controlled. As long as those conditions were met while this card was face up on the field, you can get this off perfectly fine. Next up, we play Bujingi Hair. During either player's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Beast Warrior type Bujin monster you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can only use this effect once per turn. Great card for keeping your stuff alive. We play 3 Danger Mothman for the draw power. Next up, we play Bujin Mahitotsu. I got it. You can send 1 Bujin card from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. You can activate one of these effects. Send 1 Bujin monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 Bujin monster with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. Great cycling. Banish 1 Bujin monster from your graveyard. Send 1 Bujin monster with a different name from your deck to your graveyard. You can only use the summoning effect and the other effect of Bujin Mahitotsu each once per turn. This is great for just cycling out what you need at any given time. It's an easy special summon target, concerning that all you need to do is discard a card from your hand. Hey, you want to be doing that at all times. And it's great for picking and choosing what you need at certain times. Maybe you have a Bujin a Quillen in your hand and a Crane in the graveyard, and you want the Crane in your hand, but the Quillen in the graveyard. Bam, you can use Mahitotsu. A little specific, but it's great for getting what you need at any given time. And now, the big combo maker of the deck, Bujin Torofune. You contribute this card, special summon 2 Bujin monsters of 2 different types from the deck in defense position, except for Bujin Torofune. When you summon a Bujin Xyz monster, while this card is in your graveyard, you can equip this card to it. Any monster destroyed by battle with that equipped monster is banished. You can only use each effect of Bujin Torofune once per turn. This is your key combo card because it gets out anything that you need onto the field. You can Xyz summon a monster, bam, bip bop boop, or you even link into our link monster to get even more plays off. Bip bop boop. And then you have the neat little effect where it equips to an Xyz monster, and anytime they crash into something, they banish it, which is great. Very great for a lot of decks that are very specific off the graveyard, like Eldritch, if you can actually destroy it. On to the spells and traps. We play 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Pot of Prosperity. Now, this card, I never recommend actually doing the full 6 cards. Definitely only do 3 cards because a lot of the cards in here, in your extra deck, are relatively important. You don't want to go crazy. So definitely recommend only doing the 3, but it's still nice to have the Pot of Prosperity. Next up, we play 2 Fire Formation Tenki because this is great for searching out a Beast Warrior, which is everything in the deck that we play. When it's activated, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from your hand to your deck. All Beast Warrior monsters that you control gain 100 attack, and you can only activate 1 Fire Formation Tenki per turn. Another deck being hit because Tri Brigade hit it to 2. I hate it. I hate him. I hate him. Next up, BUJIN Candescence. Beast Warrior BUJIN monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects except during the battle phase. That's okay. Once per turn, you can send one BUJIN monster from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. That is pretty much why we run this card. And then the very niche one, during your end phase, you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard to target one BUJIN monster in your graveyard and special summon it. That one's kind of niche. You kind of want to keep this around just because during your main phases, your stuff cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, like, you can't, they can't interrupt, they can negate your stuff, but they can't, like, destroy your cards to ruin your Xyz plays. So, this card is great. Absolutely, definitely should be playing it as a 2 or 3. I like the ratio of just 2. Works out perfectly fine, and we have ways of searching this card out. 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Forbidden Droplet, 1 BUJIN Regalia the Sword. Activate one of these effects. Target one BUJIN monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Target one of your banished BUJIN monsters and send that target to the graveyard. If I could squeeze in a little bit more room, I would play this at a 2, but it started to feel really inconsistent, especially since you don't want to see this card all the time. I think it's great at 1. You could argue playing it at 2, however you feel is best suited for you, but definitely I like this card at 1. And then 2, Infinite Impermanence. Let me catch my breath, and let's move on to the extra deck. Now, we're going to start right at the very beginning with number F0, Utopic Future. I'm not even going to bother reading this card's effects because it's just here, so we can get out Utopic Draco Future. But, in order to Xyz summon this monster, you need 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank, which is everything that we play. Once you get out Utopic Future, you're going to then Xyz summon once again into Utopic Draco Future, because you can also use number F0, Utopic Future, you control as material and transfer its materials to this card. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you could detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and then if that monster is on the field, gain control of it. Amazing, amazing card. This is filling up kind of one of the holes that BUJIN has, which is not really being able to handle what your opponent's doing. So, you rock your Xyz plays, you rock your Link, you get your Xyz out, and then you pop into Utopic Draco Future. You got some monsters on the field doing some good stuff. You still have some BUJINs on the field. You got all your effects in the graveyard, and then you have a monster negate on the field. Absolutely recommend playing this card. Very good for BUJINs. Next up, we do play Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. And the reason why I recommend playing this is just to search out Fire Formation Tenki. This way you can get into your shenanigans by playing Tenki and then searching out any BUJIN that you need at that given moment. So, it's funny, I haven't really actually used this card just yet, but I still think it's a nice tech to have in here. I played it 2 just because I was only able to get 1 of each of these. Otherwise, I would play 2 of this and only 1 of this, but it's just kind of how it is. You can fiddle around with that as you see fit. Next up, we have BUJIN Te Susanoo. Susanoo. Yeah. 2 level 4 BUJIN monsters. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this monster, target 1 BUJIN monster from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can only control 1 BUJIN Te Susanoo. Amazing for just everything that you need for this deck. You need a BUJIN Giquillion in the graveyard. You need Centipede. You need Hair. Bam. Grab it. Throw it away. Or if you need something to special summon or do whatever you need to, grab it so you can continue on doing your combos. Next up, BUJIN Te Kagutsuchi. 2 level 4 Beast Warrior monsters. When this card is Xyz summoned, send the top 5 cards of your deck to the graveyard or your entire deck if it's less than 5. Also, this card gains 100 attacks for each BUJIN card sent to the graveyard by this effect. If a BUJIN Beast Warrior type monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters, and you can only control 1 of this on the field. This is great for just keeping your shit alive. Say you can't really extend too much, but you need to finish off your field. You need some protection just to help even further with BUJIN Candescence. You can bring out Kagutsuchi. It mills the top 5 cards of your deck, which helps everything that this deck does. It helps literally everything. And then you can finish off your turn with a great card that can keep your shit alive. So, play this at 1. Next up, Bujin Te Tsukuyomi. 2 level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, send your entire hand to the graveyard, minimum of 1. You do need at least 1 card in your hand, and if you do, draw 2 cards. When this card you controlled while face up leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target level 4 Bujin Warrior Beast Warrior Bujin monsters in your graveyard up to the number of Xyz materials this card had on the field and special summon those targets. This is great for just discarding your hand if you have like maybe a bunch of Quillins or Centipedes in your hand. And then drawing 2, get a little bit of a decently fresh hand, just 2 cards, but hey, it works. And then if it gets popped, hey, you get something else back out into the field. Pretty nice. Next up, Bujinki Amaterasu. 3 level 4 monsters. You can only control 1 Bujinki Amaterasu once per turn. During either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and apply this effect depending on whose turn it is. During your turn, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower monsters and special summon the target. During your opponent's turn, target one of your banished level 4 or lower monsters and add that target to your hand. I really haven't actually used this card yet, personally, but it's still nice to have as a just in case. Plus, it's fulfilling the archetype. I'm going to at least play it at 1. But it is it's very niche. It's a little expensive to create. It's got it's your biggest beat stick out of your Bujin monsters, but it's still a pretty nice card to have and just kind of like fool around with and figure out how you're gonna work with it. Next up, we got the staples: Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. Next up, we have 3 Bujinki Ahashimas. 2 monsters with the same level, cannot be used as linked material. You can only use each effect of the following effects of Bujinki Ahashima once per turn. So you can use both of these effectively. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon 2 monsters with the same level, 1 from your hand and 1 from your graveyard, but negate their effects, and immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon 1 Xyz monster using those 2 materials. Great for your plays. If an Xyz monster this card points to activates an effect by detaching a material, you can target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. And this is why I only play 1 Centipede, because we have other means of spell and trap destruction. But this is great for just kicking off your plays. You have to make sure you at least have 1 card in your hand, but you do this, you special summon this, you get something out from your graveyard, something from your hand, Xyz, bam, woo, look at you go. Then you're going to immediately detach with something, whatever you would decide to bring out, and then pop something off the field. Amazing card. Highly recommend playing this at 3, just because you want to see this. You want to be doing this a lot. Even if they destroy this, you could still bring it right back out. And then finally, finishing off, we got Access Code Talker. Just kind of a staple if I can really use him. I've never actually used him in this deck, but if the situation ever does arise, hey, we can get him out. You know, he's a phenomenal card. As we take a deep breath, we are finished. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of cards to go through because there's a lot of different things for Bujins, but this is the deck. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's not really a ranked grind deck. If you have Zeus in here, it can have some ranked viability, but I definitely do not recommend, if you're in like Diamond or Platinum, really rocking with this deck. This is a for fun deck. It's very fun, very enjoyable to kick back, play with some friends with. Lots of great plays that you could do with this. But no, the big problem that it has is that it's very susceptible to negate. So if any of your combos do end up getting negated, unfortunately, you're kind of a sitting duck at that point. There's not really much else that you can do. It's kind of hard to recover. So yeah, not much of a ranked deck. It's just a ton of fun to kick back and enjoy with some friends. And if you really feel like torturing yourself, Zeus and Utopic Draco Future will probably carry you in your ranked journey if you decide to use this deck. But let me know what you guys think down below. I know a lot of people like using 60 card variants, but I really kind of squeezed this down to a 40 card deck because that's what I prefer. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed this deck, let me know all your thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about Bujins. I love this archetype personally. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. See ya.